Well, hello, good evening. We're gonna get the layout sorted out hopefully just a second here. But otherwise, welcome to Link to the Past Randomizer League Season 6. Definitely looking forward to this amazing pilot spoiler match because we've got two heck of runners. We've got Relkin and Will. Will, of course, being the pilot for 2 Infinity Pgog versus Jet being piloted by Megawatts. Two extremely tough opponents. I believe 2 Infinity Pgog are up one game, so if they do in fact take this one, it will be a 2-0 sweep. But of course, with Jets and Megawatt kind of going on, they're certainly looking to extend this to a best of 3 series. I'm Claire Mouse. Joined with me is the third member of Phendrana Drifters, Wallkicks. Wallkicks, how's it going?
Hello, I'm doing lovely. Did you know that there is a flute in Link's house? Wow. Talk about getting lucky immediately.
That's amazing. Normally, you would have to, have the pilot tell you, hey, can you save and quit and go to Link's house? It turns out, if you start at Link's house, you don't need a pilot. Did you know that, Wallkicks?
I mean, that's just kind of is annoying in terms of like, wow, you start at Link's house and it's just like, yeah, no, I don't know. That's obnoxious. But anyways, pilot spoiler. Our runners are going to be kind of doing basically with the pilot. We have the spoil log. They don't have any time to look at it, so they're just going to kind of try to get through it as fast as possible. Relkin is not having any luck with his 50-50 bomb. There we go. I think that was 1 for 8.
1 for 8? I hear that's less than the 50-50 odds that I was promised with those bushes. How's my math?
When is it ever truly 50-50?
Well, I mean, that's what the math has been telling me. By the way, you won't actually need 50-50. Yeah, okay, so you know what? We got a little bit of back and forth because, as you mentioned, we actually were incredibly fortunate to find the flute here in Link's house on Relkin's side. Phendrana Drifters with Jet, though, got the tree pull, which of course isn't the spoiler log, but in this case, they don't have to incur, in this case, the time cost, right, of trying to farm out at least one bomb. So, certainly very nice.
Yeah,
and it looks like...
Oh, go ahead, I'm sorry.
No, I was just gonna say, like, it seems like, Jet and Relkin are basically gonna they're both able to make a single trip into Kakariko itself, right? Because Jet ended up going to, like, Lost Woods, got the tree pull, and the save and quit, and then now we're both gonna go and, do Kakariko all in one sweep. You don't have to come back and activate the flute.
Yeah, it was actually very good of them, because, like, Jet and Megawatt were able to kind of identify, hey, the tier 2 tree pull is 4 bombs, and we can use that relatively easily to kind of get what we need. They also did pick up a castle tower key, and we're gonna want both. Well, I haven't, like, I do have the spoiler log. I haven't looked too deep into it. I saw that. I'm like, okay, let's take a look at what's in castle tower. We're gonna actually want both chests in there.
Oh, okay. Do you know if we have to beat Aga? Well, I guess we're gonna find out if we do. But wait, you said both keys. Okay, so the answer is yes. We're gonna have to.
Well, no, we're gonna want both chests.
Oh, chests. Oh, okay, chests. Okay, gotcha. Right. Oh, right.
Yeah.
Okay. That is acceptable.
Yeah, no, it doesn't look like we'll be killing Aga unless we need whatever is behind Lumberjack. If I had to, but I haven't looked at it.
Yeah.
That's funny. Hold on. Need to check step 2 of this.
Amazing. Well, looks like though we okay. So of course, Link Force are amazing. By the way, everybody wish Link Force a happy birthday. She is working overtime on her birthday, doing tireless work for our entertainment purposes only. So definitely get her, a very big happy birthday wishes.
Definitely a happy birthday.
Yes, Link Force. See, everyone loves Link Force. We also, and so by the way, okay, you were speaking of Castle Tower. We did not get a key to Castle Tower as we're going. Oh, I guess we can't get in right now anyway, even if we wanted to, unless of course there's just like a cape, floating around somewhere here, or there are just 2 swords for us.
The 2 swords will be problematic. I mean, the swords for now will
problematic. Oh man.
Like,
okay, well that's a great
the swords themselves throughout the seed won't be too bad. It's just getting the necessary swords to get to Castle Tower will be a little problematic, is what I'm saying.
Okay. All right. Well, it's okay. So if in this case we're most likely going to have to make a return trip, just for Castle Tower, in order to go get whatever here is in the front of Escape, probably going to be worth it. Looks like, we've got actually quite divergent routes. Both Megawatt and Will certainly have the spoiler log. and all kind of depends on what your maybe initial strategy is, what your item discovery process is. But it's I wasn't going to say it's uncommon to see two completely different routes, but we really got some different priorities, right? Relkin going over to Hobo. Wellkicks, how do you feel about Hobo? He's
Well,
a great person, right?
no, but he
No,
has
okay.
something. He has something that we're gonna want today.
Ah, I see, I see. I see. Well, okay. It looks like we actually want both things here. We got the boomerang chest in the front of Escape, which has Harmoon Pearl, and we have a shovel that we will hopefully dig up something nice and squeaky clean.
I mean, we're not gonna dig up something squeaky clean in. Yeah, no, we're not gonna be digging up something squeaky clean, but we will be
No.
digging up something.
Okay, well that's
What
good.
is squeaky clean, by the way?
Well, I don't know. I mean, because we had to go for a swim. I figured it would be clean,
Oh,
And
okay,
when
okay.
something is clean, if you rub a cloth against it, it squeaks, right?
Hmm.
That's how you know it's clean.
So Clear Mouse, when you
Oh
have
my.
a pilot spoiler seed,
Yes,
what is
yes,
the
Walkers.
first thing as a runner or as a pilot you try to look for?
Well,
Why is that bunny just flat out not moving?
I don't know. Did I activate the
That bunny
flute?
was
That
just
was a very
frozen in time.
yeah, yeah. Well, so okay, the very first thing that I ever look for always are the boots. And then in
Uh-huh.
this case, I want to go find them as fast as possible. The next thing I go look for is the flute, but it turns out they don't need me because they just already found the flute in the front of the escape.
Would you like to see boots today?
I would love to see boots today. I
Too
would like to see.
bad.
Are you serious? Wall kicks.
Yes.
We're like
Yes.
6 minutes in. Wall kicks. How can you make me so sad? How can you make Link Force so sad? She wants to click the boots. Did you know that? And she cannot. Apparently, what you're telling me?
If
It's her birthday. Can you give her a present?
look, if either of our runner would like to go to the GT Big Key chest, you can get your boots.
Oh my gosh. Can we reroll? Nobody told me that I would be forced to commentate a boostless seed here.
I apologize for for everyone who I just made upset. But yes, there will be no
How
boots this seed.
how apologetic do you think Megawatt and Will are? Or do you think that they're just going to pretend that they haven't looked for the boots yet, and then they'll be like, "Oh, don't worry, it's coming at any moment now. I just have other things to go do with my piloting time."
I entirely believe that they know where the boots are. Having said that,
That's
where is
bad.
this? Oh wait,
Okay, well,
I'm looking in GT. I'm like, where's the GT Big Key? You know what? This is key sanity.
oh well, that's a good thing. Well, case out of curiosity, have you ever played spoiler before?
No, I
Okay.
don't know what you're talking about.
That's good to know. Well, I was also gonna say, it looks like, at least in this case, maybe Rolkin and we're gonna get a little bit more efficiency, just because they decided to go get the shovel to the cape, and then now they're gonna be able to make a single trip into the front of Escape. Most likely gonna take a death warp here, and then with that cape, I assume they're gonna, and the castle tower key, I assume they're gonna go into get both chests, as you did mention. No lamp. We're not maybe on like the comfiest of equipment, but I think that Rolkin probably at this point is capable enough, right, of getting this stuff in the dark.
It's definitely not that hard to kind of navigate the dark room to get to the chest. Like if you're obviously navigating more, it's a little bit problematic. But if you're strictly just doing it just to get to the chest, it's really not that bad.
Okay, well that's good to know. I certainly have every confidence in Jet too. I also, but because in this case, I don't know how pertinent the two chests in Castle Tower are. Like if we kind of need it relatively soon. But maybe Jet will actually can come back with a little bit better equipment, or we'll just go to Castle Tower right now. It's all good.
We're definitely gonna want both of them kind of as soon as possible, which is why we're heading in that direction. One big thing is that Relkin does have a full magic, and Jet does not have any magic. And at this point, we're going to be looking to use Samaria to kill these two guards.
Yeah, that's actually a very excellent observation. And not only that, we also needed some magic in order to get into Castle Tower itself. So, well, Jet also does have a couple bombs to his name. I don't know if that's going to help.
Does have a little bombs, could be help. Relkin does have to be careful, down to 1 heart, but looks like he'll be fine.
Mm-hmm. The
Although,
next one's
again,
gonna be kind of scary, though.
Well, you could just place a block and essentially just let. Oh, wow.
Oh my God, Rocket. Okay, do you remember that time when you mentioned that a full magic bar was extremely helpful? That was
Yes.
well, okay, so you gonna be okay this next room? I'm scared. Wall kicks. I need an adult.
Like I think he'll be fine. I'm definitely concerned with Jet, given how low his magic is.
That's also a good point. We do not have any real buffer here. Oh, we
But
have
we
a
have a
good
gold
bee.
bee. Hold on a sec. Oh, Relkin took
Okay,
a death.
Relkin.
That's
Yes, this is actually really scary because so we just saw how extremely helpful that full magic bar was in the first room. Holy cow, though, these bee strats. That bee, I think, is just the MVP. You know what? Maybe you should recruit the bee on your team, Walker. What do you think?
like genuinely that bee was actually really good, and now Jet should be fine here, and we'll get.
Yeah, that was extremely actually well
Give me
done.
one second.
I mean, really good thinking, basing on Jet's side,
Yeah.
to be able to do this. I did actually forget that Roken, of course. Okay, the death is a little bit costly, just in terms of this time you really can't get back. But he did pick up the sword, and now he has full health, so he doesn't. So he should now be actually okay.
Yeah, we should be fine here. Like both runners, hopefully. I say as Jet is taking a whole bunch of damage.
Okay, all right, we're almost there. Oh my God, Jet.
I need to teach these people these runes.
Wait, have we made? Oh no, Relkin. Oh no.
Wow, Relkin took another death. Wow.
Yeah, this is gonna be kind of scary.
This is not a hard room, people. This is hold down left, hold up left, hold down left, hold up left, and you're fine.
But we have
you poked.
heartbeats
You
of
poked.
panic. Yeah, we have problems. Yep. Yeah. All right. Okay. Well. Okay. So for what it's worth,
you don't want to hold your sword out in Dark Maze because you will poke and you will activate the guards. It's as simple as that.
Thank you. Okay.
I know
hop in.
I get to be critical.
We can, just hop in right now. Take up Jet's lanes. It's like tag team. You know, this is the true meaning of League.
Yeah, and like both runners at this point are probably going to feel a little bit bad about how this is going. It's definitely too early for both pilots to be looking at probably what their opponent is doing.
Oh, well, there's a bow. Well, yeah, I was gonna say that we did see Will here in chat. So, and this is kind of one of the features of Pilot Spoiler is that you are allowed to watch the restream, you're allowed to watch the other person's stream. So in this case, like, yes, I do think that nobody actually likes to take extra deaths. But both. So Broken took I think 2 deaths, and then Jet took 1. I mean, so it's kind of really honestly like. It's kind of a wash, right? I mean, yes, like you're obviously gonna. It's time you still can't get back, but you do maybe feel a little bit better that your opponent's kind of going through the same thing,
Yeah, but again, you don't know that your opponent's going through the same thing. Like for all you know, your opponent got through that without any issue.
Well, I'm just saying, like, I think Will might have been able to tell Relkin, like, hey, don't worry about it, man. Like, but yeah. I don't know how much. Yeah, but as you've been mentioned though, it is pretty early. And pilots especially have 50 things to try and do and find and plan. And so it certainly could be, very difficult in order to try to make this like the 51st thing that you want to do.
Yeah, but we're now in Eastern Palace, and I imagine Jet's gonna follow right along. This is actually going to be very nice for the pilots. That is because, though we don't know it, the Eastern Palace big key is actually in here, and so this like having the ability to tell your runner, hey, go to Eastern Palace. That gives the pilot 3.5 minutes or whatever of just they can focus on building the route while the runner is just going through this dungeon.
That is certainly one of the pilots biggest desires, especially in the early game, is if you can send your runner to a location, like that in this case is a completely clearable crystal dungeon. What you really need, especially as a pilot, is time, right? And the alarm, I guess, right, or like the deadline that you're facing is basically you need some more direction for your runner to do, and basically keep him busy, like in a dungeon is absolutely perfect. So speaking of though, wall kicks, how would you feel about the seed if you were had to given where the Eastern Palace big key is?
Are you if I'm not if I don't have the spoiler in front of me?
Correct,
that'd be horrible.
Yes. Yeah.
But
I'm curious to know where that lamp is, by the way.
Let's look it up real quick.
Okay, all
right. Well, it's accessible, but I see why our runners are doing it in this order.
Mm-hmm. No, it certainly makes a lot of sense. I mean, well, right. So we don't have to necessarily pay attention to the logic, right? Because we have the spoiler log, and the whole point in this case of having a pilot, you trying to navigate like the runner, you really want to try and make things as efficient as possible. Tempering that with some amount of do you think your runner can handle, let's say, 3 hard green male fighter sword moth? Maybe that's up for debate. Certainly, this back of Eastern Darkroom can be a bit tricky. It looks like Relking actually got through quite well. Definitely very good use of the sword and the bow in order to locate that Igor. Normally, it can be quite a hand. It can get out of hand very easily, especially with like no lamp, no bombos, no medallion, no fire rod. So very well done on Roken's side.
Yep, and hopefully Jet will be able to kind of do the same thing. Again, we're basically very close. I think the difference. I am curious where Relkin got the hearts that he did, because I wasn't paying the most amount of attention to that as I was kind
Yeah,
of sparsing
same.
the log a little bit. But yeah,
Yeah. I did also notice that when I was like, man, Roken has 5 hearts going into Castle Tower. Where are Jet's hearts? I mean, and sometimes if you are, I guess, as a pilot, sometimes you can actually route in heart pieces, heart containers. Oh wow. Okay. Well, this is an extremely loaded Eastern Palace. Well, because we had the big key to Turtle Rock and the big chest. We had, I guess, GT Small, which is very, very convenient. That means we don't have to go steal the key. Or of course, maybe we have to go further in GT for something else. But more importantly, we have our glove. I'm gonna maybe assume that submits, logically, but I guess I don't know. Or are we supposed to be able to get the lamp soon? Okay.
Well, I mean, it can. The reality is, it can be either one, because we might be getting our other glove here momentarily.
Oh, okay. Cool. All right. Cool. Okay. Thank you, chat. Phantom, Hearts and Blindside. Okay, so that's potentially a location that Jet, had gone to. Or sorry, Jet had not gone to, but Will sent Rolkin there. Oh no. Oh no! Okay, the good news is that we cannot quick swap to the mirror because we don't have the mirror.
We cannot quick swap to the mirror.
Oh, very interesting. All right. Well, suddenly we have our Dark World access, and that glove looks significantly easier to get. Welcome. What do you think?
I mean, yes, it is a significant easier glove, but at the same time, given where our lamp is, both gloves are technically in logic. Again, just with the lamp location.
Okay, that's good.
So
well, looks like though.
I would say so. After our early routing, we're basically gonna be. Jet, you just need Jet. You need to. Well,
okay, well, we've got some communication. Things sometimes. Things can be quite a bit of a.
He didn't need
okay,
to go.
All right, I'm. Well, okay. Maybe there's just been some more calamity. In the communication. All right. Maybe we didn't actually need this. I certainly do know that we needed the drained item.
So we definitely needed the drained item. Yeah.
Yeah, we got a hook shot, I think, in Mini World. I missed what else we got. I saw 2 other chests being picked up, but
there was a big key to Ice Palace. I remember that. Okay. That was about it.
Okay, cool. Well, so Link Force though, she's so good. Everything is already parked on the tracker for us.
Yeah, we are seeing more divergence now.
Yeah, we are seeing some divergence here. Right. So Relkin looks like decided to go take his Dark World access directly into the Village of Outcasts. We have no hammer. Personal opinion is that as a pilot, I really prefer Midsar at Dark World access, because then I don't have to make a decision. I could just say, you know what, let's go to Dark World, and then it'll always be the right decision of the location to start, as opposed to
always the correct
anywhere
decision.
else.
This is quite a long walk for wherever Relkin is going.
True. Right, and the kind of the downside, I guess, is that because we have no hammer. If you need to go to a location like Hype Cave, Pyramid, nice lamp, and Paradox, interesting. Yeah, it's incredibly inconvenient, and I guess you kind of want to make sure that this is the right decision at the time, because if you need to, come back for this on another route, it is very costly. But it looks like whatever is in Hype Cave is important for Roken. Hopefully Jet's gonna not die. Okay.
I was like, these dead rocks. This is a very long walk to Hype Cave for what I assume is a pod small key.
A pod small key. Where's our hammer?
Take a look at keep an eye on the right screen for another 30 seconds.
I'm going to keep a right. Oh my gosh. Okay. Yeah, this is actually kind of interesting. Yeah, because we're definitely here on the mountain, and Hammer makes things incredibly nice in order to be able to navigate any of Dark World, right? Because you have access to all the portals. And more importantly, if we have the Hammer here, Roken does not need in order to basically walk from Village of Outcasts all the way to Hype Cave.
There's definitely some issues on Jet's side, which is, just gonna bleed time and kind of. I don't want to say make them a little tilted, but the reality is that they're facing elimination. So this is kind of a little spooky. Relkin is walking all the way over here
all the
just
way to pod
for one key pod.
All right, well, there's the hammer. So and this is a crystal dungeon. So, but we also don't have the big key to pod. I mean, we do see 2 small pod keys on Jet's side. I mean, so I guess this, so Relkin and Will are basically accepting the double dip of pod. Like, I know that there are, there's like a meme, like, there's always a blank in pod, right? We are not gonna find that second hammer in pod. In fact, there is no second hammer available to us.
It's true. There.
So,
No second.
yeah, so I
So
mean,
yeah,
assuming this case, the pod big key is accessible somewhere, looks like actually then Jet is gonna be able to single dip this place. Which, again, like without any type of like real movement item, like Bootser for example, like your any type of routing, is going to be like extremely like efficiency is gonna be paramount here.
all right. So we do see a Skull Woods big key here in the first chest of pod.
Wow. Okay.
So, and usually if that's a check you can skip in terms of the shooter room, you skip it.
Yeah.
So I imagine we're gonna want to be keeping an eye on that. But
yeah, no, that's definitely true because shooter, especially even without the mirror. I mean, maybe the mirror is like slightly okay just because you can well, mirror out right to the beginning. Our options here are to death warp, which is slow, or to walk out, which is also slow. Like, I mean, it is as you said, this is a non-trivial check to go pick up a shooter. It's like deceivably expensive, right? Because you're like, oh, it's shooter room. It's literally like the first one. It's so easy to get. It takes a significant long time, more time than you might actually think it is.
Yeah. So again curious because like I would say up until this Dark World start, I was favoring Will and Welkin's route a little bit more. Not the deaths notwithstanding. That's not a routing issue. But like they were able to kind of combo Hyrule Castle in one go. Maybe a slightly less efficient way to go get the because Welkin picked up his flippers to get the shovel while Jet fake flippered. So like that a little bit I would lean towards Jet, but I think still doing the whole Hyrule Castle area in one thing was definitely more in favor of Welkin. But I have to give the better routing choice here since Dark World to the Drifters and Jet Megawatt because walking from the Dark World portal in Kakariko all the way to pick up a pod key in Hype Cave and then go into pod again, walking literally all the way from there is seemingly bad in my eyes.
Yeah, and right, so you did in fact rip the band-aid off completely at the very beginning and told us there were no boots available for the seat at all. So any type of, in this case, routing. I've heard some estimate like if it's a boostless seat, like 85%, 80% or whatever is going to be on the pilot, in terms of impact, right? Because that basically is going to be the bulk of the difference, right? If you have boostless, your runner's going to be much more hard pressed to try to make up time in terms of execution, right? Because, well, boost. Unfortunately, we don't have as many tools at our disposal in terms of execution. So yeah, not only if you have to walk all the way, as you mentioned, it is it can be very, very costly in terms of overworld. So, but we're gonna see in this case like what it does look like that it is probably a forced double dip of pod because Jet is also coming here. I guess we don't know because the big key could still be in the back of pod, in which case we can finish this. Otherwise, we are gonna have to come back.
I mean, it is absolutely a double dip required.
Okay. Okay.
Although them leaving is concerning because they did not pick up what was in shooter room and. The shooter room is the reason. The shooter room is the reason we're double dipping pod.
Oh no! Is that the pod big key in the back of Skull Woods?
It's not the pod big. Well, okay, no. Like I take that back. Sorry. The pod big key is in Misery Mire, and the Misery Mire big key is behind that skull big chest.
Oh no. Well, that is less good news. Okay, so the lighter side, I guess, is that we do have the hammer and we do have the flute, so we can, in fact, go back to. We don't have to walk all the way as Relkin was doing. However, that being said, though, getting back into pod, like, pod is a very expensive dungeon to get back into because you have to go through basically all like the dark maze or whatever the hedge maze in the beginning, and it is a significant amount of time in order to get into pod. But I guess we'll see in this case what kind like how things shake up. There we go.
Yeah. And then there's a lot happening here. Like both runners' routes feel a little choppy right now, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, but this is, by the way, also somewhat understandable because again, this is pilot spoiler. There is no, you mentioned this at the very beginning. There is no study period. Everyone goes, and then that's when the spoiler log appears, and that is how much time the pilot gets to try and figure out and what to do, to send the runner, right? And so, if you especially it can be kind of like a more complex seed. In order to get your runner kind of like the best, most optimal direction, sometimes just doesn't happen. You have to send your runner to do something.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
if. Mm-hmm.
And to answer chat, and I didn't explain this all the way, but in order to get into Misermire, we need a Bombos medallion. That Bombos medallion that we just picked up in Desert was behind the book that we picked up in Pod. So you see where all this is going, essentially. And unless you really wanted to, I don't know. I don't know. This is just a very weird seed, and I'm still seeing mistakes on both runners' sides when it comes to routing.
I mean, well, it's also very easy, or sorry, it's not very easy, but it's much easier to kind of see. This person could have done this better once we're kind of observing.
Yeah, no,
it's much harder to kind of see.
We're the ones commentating. We're not the ones running it. Obviously, Megawatt and Will are like, we gotta go. And Jet and Relkin are like, where are we going?
Yeah, exactly.
So I mean, the stuff like this can be expected depending on, how crazy the seed is. I definitely think it was a mistake on Relkin's part, or on To Infinity and Pgog's part, that they went straight to Dark Death Mountain before, and then realizing, oh hey, we need to also now go do, we need to get the lamp out of Paradox Cave. So
yeah, that's also one thing that is having no mirror. Yeah, actually, and some of their equipment loadout is also kind of exacerbates the issue, right? Because normally, okay, if you have issues, let's say you forget something, in the Desert Palace area, right? Or you're somewhere in the overworld, the flute can really kind of mitigate some of your damage, right? Because you forgot this thing, Kakariko. You know what? Let's just loop back and get it, right? It's still an extra time cost, but but it's very minor, right? Because if you need the thing, you have to go back for it. If you accidentally get into Dark World, we have no mirror to get back, so you have to go back out again. And normally sometimes, especially maybe if you need to go to another location, the boots can mitigate some of the cost because you're running there. We do not have such luxuries today. So yeah, a lot of these things, even minor mistakes, if you don't have kind of the equipment to, well, in this case, make things a little bit faster or nicer, all those times costs can certainly add up very much so. Now, of course, that being said, your opponents are also kind of in a very probably similar situation, so you just have to try and make fewer mistakes than them. Oh, Relkin. Oh, this cape, dude, I think this is the MV item of the To Infinity and Pgog side versus the B.
Yeah, and unfortunately he got the poke the first time, but was able to get out of it this time. But that is second crystal on To Infinity and Pgog side to the Drifters 1.
Yeah, and this is a relatively quick dungeon, even without the boots, right? You saw a very nice Hera pot there on Relkin's side. Certainly do not, of course, need the Hera big key when we have the hook shot. But yeah, we definitely still need crystals, and this one. Now, I guess do we actually find anything up here in the Tower of Hera? Upstairs?
Nothing significant in Hera.
Okay. Okay. Oh, okay. All right. It looks like we actually got a Master Sword here in Maya as well, so that's pretty nice. Yeah, they did not go to the. Ooh, okay. That's a very important ice rod as well. Looks like. Oh, we got the pod big key. Where do we get the pod big key?
That was in Misermire.
Oh, perfect. Okay. All right. Okay. So now with we picked up another pod small too. So it looks like we can't actually, in fact, go back and beat pod. Maybe that's what Jet wants to go do. Yeah.
It's looking like
good.
it. Yeah.
Yeah. So in this case, So the good part about double dipping, forced double dips, is that you get 2 shots in order to go get all the items. So I assume in this case it's gonna also be the skull big key pickup in shooter room, and then whatever else they want in the back.
Yep, and they definitely have enough keys for it now because they did pick up another key in Mire, so they'll be able to clear pod here. Of course, Jet's still on 3 hearts. Curious to see if there are going to be any armor armors available.
Yeah, I am also noticing. So the 2 heart containers, I guess, that Welcome picked up in Blind's Hut, really hasn't really changed the hasn't really changed the health situation. Basically, for
Has
the
not.
for the since what 30 minutes, Jet is still on the original 3 heart screen mail. I do maybe can understand, especially you mentioned this before. The Phendrana drifters are potentially facing elimination, so maybe you have to play a little bit more aggressive. However, I have not seen any real safeties like anywhere that are even like remotely available to us.
Yeah, and the armors are not going to be happening this seed, unfortunately.
I
So
see. I
we
see.
will be on green mail this entire seed. Again, still another thing to note: drifters not picking up that big key to Skullwoods.
Well, okay, so it's possible that they want to pick up the key in shooter room as the last thing that they do because as we just can see Relkin, he had to walk out of shooter room, right? And basically kind of get back to the front versus or death warp or something. But if we get a if we basically go beat Helma, we get a free warp, to the beginning, and then we go to shooter room, and then we can save and quit. I mean, unless there's
That
like a mirror somewhere, right? And then we can
that
flute, but I think this is
that
actually pretty good.
So yeah, that is possible. We now have Gold Sword on Jet's side, by the way.
Yeah. All right. Well, I guess it's gonna be useful. Okay. I normally, especially for runners of this caliber, especially Jet, main tournament winner, previous main tournament winner, and Rolkin. I mean, well, he's Rolkin.
Vulcan has
Extremely
won,
good.
I think, a couple of SGLs. So like,
Yeah. So these guys know what they're doing. That being said, Jet's on 3 hearts. Especially for spoiler, there is like can do that's comfortable with tempered sword, and then there is like if there's a free gold sword just kind of there for you, and you're pretty much on Oko mode the entirety of the time. I'm fine with you picking up another offensive weapon that basically cuts the time, or the doubles your damage, right?
yeah.
So.
And also on Vulcan's side, we picked up silvers in
Yep. So
Ice
that's
Palace Big
super
Chest.
comfortable. Yeah, so that'll certainly make Vitreous a nicer fight. Okay, so Rolkin just managed to get all of the fire rod shots basically using sword beam dupes, which is very very heads up. Because he's only on Master Sword fighting this boss, he really wants as many fire shots as he possibly can get. It looks like we do not have bombos because he didn't go into Mire yet. So very well done on Rolkin's side. Oh, that's the mirror. Oh well, that's a great fight. I understand why Relkin and Will decided to come here early.
Yeah, and like they were definitely trying to put themselves in a position to where they can, potentially combo Mire Desert, because with this Fire Rider we can now also do Skull Woods, although we don't want to do Skull Woods because it's dependent. But that Skull Woods definitely has an item that we need.
Yeah, and there's also another kind of like nice benefit is when you initially get like the pendants and crystal check, you can kind of basically get a sense of maybe on a very coarse level how difficult the sea could potentially be, right? If you have to go find some Tartar bosses, right? In this case, we both see like the Mire and Tartar Rock are crystal, so like unfortunately, yes, we're gonna have to go beat Vitreous. We have to go beat Coldstare, as you said. Mothula is. I mean, it's a mid Dark World dungeon boss, but it has gotten runners like many issues before. Looks like we're also gonna get some safety here in Mire Shed.
Yeah, another
GT small key. Yeah, maybe necessarily useful or required, but maybe in this case if they think that health is gonna be an issue, especially maybe going into Mire.
It definitely seems like the drifters are avoiding excess health as much as possible. I mean, not excess health, but like doing things that are for safety purposes. So this is going to be kind of the. So real quick, this is going to be a big point. Will drifters go back into pod? Because if they don't, this game's over.
I'm watching.
Okay,
we are going back in. Sigh of relief here. Well, I'm only imagining this part, but I mean, I think this is actually really good. I think this is actually the more efficient route because in this case, I'm assuming they're just gonna save and quit. We already saw the mirror on Rolkin's side from Coldstare, and they don't have anything else to do in this area, so I think this is actually more efficient. Is in terms of time, because you don't have to. Do you save yourself the time of walking back from the room?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
But I am also not an expert when it comes to timing these things. All right, so it's what 3 crystals to 2 right now.
Yeah, but I mean, like, so yes, you are correct. I would kind of put Ice Palace and Pod in kind of like similar like time frames. I mean, not just ballpark wise. Like Hera, for example, is like a much faster crystal. So like, yes, Roken Team Pgog has a crystal, like a raw crystal lead. But it's not as maybe like dire in this case as it might seem in this case for Phendrana drifters.
Yeah, and like at this point, the drifters aren't going to go back up the mountain until they're basically in go mode. Because
That's what it seems
needing
like too.
without needing the fire order until Turtle Rock, we don't need to go into like we're not killing Mothula, and I don't think we're going to the bridge room. We're not. So it's very much a they'll go up the mountain, do Hera, Turtle Rock, and into GT. I think the only thing I haven't actually looked at is where is the GT big key?
Is it in GT? Well, I guess it's not in GT. Oh no! Oh no!
Oh,
whenever Wallcakes laughs like this,
we gotta be going back. All right, hold on a sec. Let's see
where are we going back to?
Let's see where a certain pendant small key is.
Oh no! Oh no! Well, okay, my guess is that pendant is okay. Well, let's see. Where is this pendant? Well, it can only be Pendant Thieves Town because otherwise, I don't think we would be caring about any other Pendant Thieves small keys.
Oh no,
there's
definitely a pendant small key.
Oh, there's a small. Oh, the Swan Palace too. Oh no.
Exactly.
All right, where is this pendant small key?
Well, so this will actually now work out slightly better. Well, yeah, it's not going to matter in the long run because. Both owners are going to have to make 2 more trips up the mountain because the pendant small key is on Laser Bridge.
Oh, great. Okay, great. Well, at least it's kind of on the way. For what it's worth. Okay, so this is actually pretty interesting. So, Ralkin and so in this case, like Ralkin and Will have decided to not double dip Meyer, as in it looks like they're just gonna make a single dip into Meyer versus Jet and Megawatt. They decided to go to Meyer to go get Bombos and
Jet, you need a small key.
all the pot. Yeah. And I was actually thinking but I would say you're gonna obviously get more efficiency, out of being able to single dip dungeons. That being said though, Jet is here on Gold Sword versus Relkin's Master Sword. Relkin did have a very nice fight, for what it's worth, but Jet's certainly gonna have a most likely it's gonna be a faster fight. That's my guess. Because of the sheer offensive power of the Gold Sword.
Jet is also just in sheer Oko mode.
That is also true. But the good news, we only need 3 slashes for the Gold Sword. That is 1 spin and 3 slashes. So.
Yeah, and I would fully imagine that Jet might try to take advantage of the cape because you bombos, break the shell, pop the cape, just don't even worry about it otherwise.
Yeah, that is actually really really good idea. Looks like we're actually going to use bombos as well in order to break out the shell. Better safe than sorry for sure. Yeah, he's got the cape out.
As in, put on the cape now. Good God.
We did it! We did it! By we, I mean Jet. Very well done. Not scared whatsoever. Wallcakes is definitely very confident. You're sitting down, right? Wallcakes, yes?
You're just asking for issues if you're like, I'm going to play chicken with this game of cape. How long can I hold off putting on the cape? You were asking for trouble there.
Maybe he didn't ask very loudly. I'm just saying, nothing happened. We're all good. That being said, though, we're gonna take some extra stock now as to Jet's 3-heart green mail compared to Falcon's 7 hearts.
The mountain.
I guess we're going. Where's the fire rod?
Well, the fire rod's
somewhere. It was in Fire
rod's here. No, the fire rod is Ether Tablet, so we'll be picking that up.
Oh right. Okay, thank you, Link Force. Yeah. And Wallcakes, of course. You actually have a memory as well. You probably saw that one.
Definitely shout out to our tracker Link Force for sure. Absolutely.
Okay, alright. Well, so we have 3 Turtle Rock small keys, and we do have the big key that we got from Eastern. That I remember. Coincidence, right? I remember everything from Eastern. Yes.
I would believe that you remember everything from Eastern.
Yes. All right. So that means we're gonna be able to get the fire rod. I guess Jet has the opportunity to beat Hera now if he wants to.
Not even picking up that heart piece. Come on, buddy.
Oh, dude, that's enough for like 1.5 seconds. All right,
committed to this 3-heart play. Apparently.
I mean, well, did you see his Cold Stare fight? He didn't need any health. Okay, we clearly saw that he took no damage.
It's true.
And this is like the original. This is on V31. Okay, like extra heart, containers. Like cause lag, is what I've been told. So
I'm just
you know,
looking at the heart difference and then just laughing.
you think we'll get half magic?
No.
Okay.
I don't think we'll get half magic. It's
All right.
not impossible, but unless one of the pilots can be like, "Hey, we have a lead," I don't see us going out of the way for it.
Okay, that's fair. Yeah, and I think so far all of the safeties that Relkin has picked up, like Blind's Hut, if there was nothing else in there, it is, while it's still in Kakariko, it's not, it's a non-true amount of time. I mean, I think the value is probably very good. It's because you got 2 heart containers out of this versus, to 1 Blind Strip Hut. And then he also went to Meyer's Shed, right, for another heart container, another GT small key. That one's probably, more questionable, but I mean, still, it's not directly on your path. Holy frick, Jet.
Mothula. Or not Mothula, Moldorm. Other M boss.
Yeah. Okay, we're fine. This is the power of the goals. I mean, just kind of looking at the time investment that Jet ended up taking, I think it was actually a very good decision. Cold Stare was a lot nicer.
I say Cold Stare was. I got you to say it too.
Thanks, small kicks.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I mean, like, this is what happens, especially when you're on, as you mentioned, OKO mode, or one-hit KO mode. You suddenly can't afford, I guess, like certain, let's say, like muscle memory, because on the off chance that you do take a hit, you will just die, right? And then that's a multiple minute time loss, and so therefore you're trying to play more cautiously. But in the process of playing more cautiously, you could actually do worse things, and then suddenly then you make a mistake, and then we've always seen this game. If anything goes off the rails, it will go off the rails very, very quickly and terribly. So you really basically want some amount of extra comfort for yourself.
Yep. So I think I can safely say that Relkin probably has a slight lead at this point, because we're largely at this point down to, for Jet, obviously he's going to be here in Turtle Rock and opening up Turtle Rock, but it's still going to be the pod clear versus the Mire Desert clear, which definitely gives To Infinity Pgog a slight lead, I think.
Oh, I see. I guess, yeah, because we're just gonna go, well, at least for drifters, it will be just a direct, head to the back of Mire, but yes, in this case, it can take a little bit longer. And then, yeah, in the desert, you still have to basically, you're still also going to directly the back, but it is, I think it's a good comparison. Like, you're basically doing 2 dungeons versus, like, 1, so.
So to answer chat, yeah, the entire reason Turtle Rock isn't crystal number 7 is because we're gonna need the Swamp Small that's here.
Cool. Is this the only thing we need, by the way, in terms of equipment, like in terms of before go mode? Just the GT Big? We can do everything else, yeah? We got flippers for Swamp, and the mirror, and the hook shot.
Yeah, no, we'll be good after that. And to answer why did we pick up the Thieves Sound Big Key, that might have just been a quick, hey, there were 2 Turtle Rock keys in Hookshot Cave, just pick up everything.
Yeah, that definitely makes sense. I don't know what Megawatt and Will's style is, as in, like, you can just say, go to Hookshot Cave, and then, well, you could just get everything, or say, in this case, go to Hookshot Cave and get, the top right and the bottom left, or, like, get, like, the first 3. I don't know what their style is. We've certainly seen that, maybe at least on Will's side, in Mini Molder game, he said just get the first 3. I don't quite remember what happened on Jet's side. But yeah, like, even like us, if you're not quite sure, okay, we apparently didn't need jobs.
We are.
Okay, all right, well.
little bit of random muscle memory right there.
Yeah. This is a good reminder. This is key sanity. This is also another benefit of having a buddy or a pilot, to help you, especially towards the end game. Scary pokey. When most of the item, routing, item discovery stuff is kind of, come to a conclusion, right? In this case, as you mentioned before, we're just here. The only thing we kind of need now is Laser Bridge in order to go get Swamp Small, in order to get the GT Big. Pilots don't have as much stuff that they're, basically trying to do. So another thing is that, it's good reminders, right? By the way, go steal the Poke Key. By the way, you don't need this Chomp's chest.
That was a little close.
Oh, we got it. Oh, this is super.
Oh, that's
yeah. I don't think. Oh no, Relkin's not here yet.
Yeah, no.
I was like, I don't remember him picking this. Oh, right, we haven't been here. Yeah, good use of the fire rod here on Relkin's side. No danger. I mean, this is also maybe one of those things that is gonna afford Relkin some more comfort, just because he is on 7 hearts. Green mail, maybe, it's not blue mail, but he is not in Oko mode, as contrary to Jets. Right, you definitely saw him basically take a bit more cautious, you know, with the pokies. And Relkin, you know, if he gets hit once, he gets hit, right? And he just kind of keeps going.
Yeah, and like, you know, he can afford picking up that the safety.
Mm-hmm. All right, yeah, we're gonna see this gonna be really great Kate usage. Maybe not the one that we wanted. Although having a small shield to Swamp Palace, you know, before entering Swamp Palace, we can deflect the spear from the Moblin. I see in this case we have swapped the top right and the bottom right chests in Laser Bridge.
It's all good.
Yeah, it is all good. Especially in this case, you know, we got the cape. I think we have enough magic for one Samaria block, maybe?
We'll find out here momentarily.
It's hard to
nope,
tell.
we
do
don't.
not. Wait, well, good thing we have sword beams.
Jet, you have sword beams.
Okay.
I am here to
use our sword beam.
I am here to poke fun at everybody, apparently.
It's okay. Well, it's, you know what, we got through the puzzle, and we didn't have to hear, you know, the loud sword beams that that we're there for.
And Relkin has for sure had a much cleaner Turtle Rock than Jet has. You know, as noted by the fact that we're already near, you know, Relkin's nearly at the boss, despite the advantage that Jet had coming in.
Yeah, well, so that being said, though, it looks like Jet's actually gonna have a faster Tridex fight, you know, just because he's on Gold Sword, and Relkin's on Super Sword.
Ever so slightly faster fight.
I'm just saying, you know, like, you gotta take the time, gains and losses, you know, where they are. But I do think you're correct, though, and part of Relkin's, I think, execution gain is that he was kind of more able to play to his, you know, like, style. Not that really people clear out Turtle Rock regularly without boots or anything like that, but, you know, again, like, he's not worried in this case about if I take a death, especially in Turtle Rock, and we didn't go outside, you know, you're warped all the way back to the beginning of the dungeon. That's how many minutes? You know, like 3? You know, to get back to wherever you were, something like that. It's, yeah. Right, first one out. Hey, look, we have everything we need to go clear Thieves Town. You want to go there, Wall Kicks?
No.
What's in the back of Thieves Town? And anything good?
No, nothing.
Well, okay, then we don't want to go there anyway.
No.
But you can't fire me, I quit. That's how it is.
Precisely, that's how that works. So Megawatt Jet need to go pick up the Meyer Big, which is what they're doing right now. Relkin basically just gonna go right over to Pod, finish Pod. And yeah, call it good.
Okay, well, sounds good. Yeah, so at this point, it looks like we're not quite in, you know, go mode. I guess maybe come to your definition of spoiler, because you technically do know everything. When you get the spoiler log, it's just kind of a matter of trying to efficiently get to everything that you want to get to. Yeah, one thing I have also noticed about just,
unfortunate. Jet, you're just gonna have to take the death. You're just gonna have to take the death real quick.
Yeah,
like you have a fairy for this reason.
I was gonna ask if this kid. Oh, right. Does he want to use this fairy now?
I mean, he's gonna have to do something. You're like.
I guess that's true. That's very true. Yeah, one thing was again, you know, we talk about health, you know, Relkin not being in Oko mode, and so he can kind of maybe play, you know, more comfortably. So another thing here, especially with Bomb Assault and Hera too, was you like normally the limiting factor to these bomb jumps is the number of bombs you carry. It's not the health that you have. However, in Jet's situation, when he first took the hit from the mini Moldarm, that means he had exactly one shot in order to go get Herapod. He did it very well, but he's still one shot. We're also going to see some uncommonly seen content here on Link to the Past Randomizer, is that we're going to see getting to the big chest the intended way from the developers. All right, we have the Meyer Big Key. It's all good.
We have the Meyer Big Key. We're off.
That's what we're going for. All right, yeah. So it looks like on Drifter side, as you mentioned before, we're gonna go clear out the Meyer Desert area, and then on Relkin side, or in Tavini and Pgog, it looks like we're gonna go and finish a pod, and then apparently we have to go and stop into Swamp. Hopefully it's early. Is it early?
No.
No. Okay. It's not an Argus, is it?
Maybe.
Oh my gosh, dude, why this? Okay, so again, we probably said this like every single pilot spoiler seed. Say thank you to Will and say thank you to Megawatt because they are the ones who are going to help us not go crazy when we eventually try and play the seed for ourselves. Maybe
Why
maybe the
would
one.
anybody want to play the seed for themselves?
Yeah, that's a great question. Well, I was gonna say if you didn't have a pilot, or the spoiler log telling you where all the items are, maybe you could still live in the bubble that you'll eventually find boots. I'm just saying.
Maybe.
Maybe, and then you didn't have to, be, soul crushed, at the I don't know, at the 2 second mark, basically of the scene. Hey, look, we have the map to Meyer. Do you think it's a crystal or a pendant?
It didn't show up? Oh no, wait, we're in pod.
Oh yeah.
Like, why didn't it show up as a PRC in the top? No, it's because we're in pod.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, so that is...
Coincidentally.
So that's actually 7 crystals for 2 Infinity Pgog.
Oh yeah, actually, that is a lot of crystals.
However, we're not done yet.
We are, in fact, not finished. We did find that Swamp Small Key for a reason. We have one more dungeon to go. Now, I did notice that I was like, man, is Jack gonna kick up any dust so he can get spooky? And do you know what happens when you don't have boots wall kicks?
You can't kick up dust.
That is what I have come to learn on that side.
No dust kicking will happen.
Yeah, that's it's like, oh man, of course we should be able to do spooky action at a distance. No, we can't. We have to actually go back and do more developer intended things like hitting the switch behind the bomb locked wall. Hey, look, it's that chest that we don't need.
We definitely don't need that chest.
Alright, that is taking down my Vitreous. I will also say, kudos to both these runners. I don't necessarily know if arrows were like an extreme resource difficulty in this particular scene.
It didn't appear to be.
Yeah, but I mean, like, again, these the little things people should not take for granted just because you don't want to be in a position where you're here at Vitreous thinking I have the silver arrows, this fight should be no problem, and then you only come here with like 5 arrows and you're just like, okay, this is now a problem,
Suddenly this is a problem.
Yes.
Alright, so
right, okay.
Jet now gonna go to the back.
Meanwhile, Relkin thought it was key drop in Swamp Palace, did not pick up the pot key, and realized, in fact, yes, I do need the pot key in order to get past the first door of Swamp. Second door. We're gonna see some Specky clip. These we do not need boots for. Alright, let's see in this case where the big... So we're gonna keep going. Looks like it is hookshot locked, because otherwise we would not be getting that key.
I mean, I said where it maybe was.
Yes, that is very true. Okay, if it is on Argus, I would be curious to see in this case if Relkin will just save and quit immediately after picking up the big key since we don't need the pendant. That being said, maybe he wants the refill, maybe he wants like the free warp out. Not sure. Nice diver down. Alright, meanwhile though, Jet has made his way back to the back of Desert. This will also be his last crystal, looks like. So basically, it looks assuming.
I mean, it's basically just a Swamp Palace ahead at this point, which
is
that
is what it looks like. Even though it is a go mode Swamp Palace, as in we don't have to. Relkin didn't open any chest, right? It is still a good amount of time.
Yeah.
That being said, though, I mean, there still things can happen. No spoiler log is ever free. You think that you can still have a time, some amount of time buffer. The buffer can still certainly dissipate quite quickly as well.
I would just like to point out that Jet now has 4 hearts.
Oh, do you know what he's gonna do with his extra health? As in, like, I don't have to play like I'm in 1-hit KO mode. Like, do you think he knows how to do that?
I mean, I don't know. I don't know. Like you can definitely see where and you had discussed about, you had talked about it earlier. The heart having the health that he did. Relkin, why are you picking that up?
I don't know. Maybe he wants the magic and health refill.
That's slower.
I don't know. Yeah, we can ask them what they want to do.
I mean,
but I think maybe once you kind of like lock yourself into that pendant pickup, like even if you maybe realize too late, like you just have to you can't interrupt that cutscene. So
right.
We are going back into the Dark Worlds. Where are we going? We're going to Bombo's tablet.
Or
What's on?
this is, hey, Relkin and Will recognize they have a leap. We talked about you pick up half magic if you feel like your opponent, or if you feel like you're in the lead.
Oh,
That's exactly what this is. So this
oh,
is
interesting.
them getting half magic.
This is quite the safety, actually. I was not necessarily expecting half magic, given that they have tempered and they have silvers. I mean, I don't know how. Okay, half magic is certainly going to be very nice, especially with the cape. Just because it is like you and fire rod, you can basically just spam whatever you want, and you should be relatively fine. So it certainly has its merits. That being said, like if it were, well, you know, maybe I was expecting more of like armor, but I mean, literally, it is. You know, you are just kind of like right there. All right, but this is gonna be Jet going in and getting his GT Bicky off of Argus. I would assume in this case that he would want to save Quid, but in this case, sometimes it is hard to recognize. Because just
For sure.
you know you're just so used to beating a boss and then like you know picking up the prize and then waiting for the cutscene. Okay, and also that being said, Relkin and Will has 2 GT small keys. Of course, everything as evidenced by our tracker that Link Forces, you know, help us maintain. So that means that they don't actually have to go do anything. Like they could just, you know, they don't have to go steal the pot key from the left side. They don't have to go kill the mini Helma for that key. May or may not actually be somewhat more relevant, just because a Jet only has one, because the other key came from Shed, which looks like, well, Jet's not going to go to. And
Definitely not.
yeah, so I mean, and given that he is on 4 hearts, right? You do, you know, there are spikes in the way, like for the mini Helma, so it could, you know, I don't think it will make a difference, but it's just a little bit more dangerous if you're on lower health.
Yep, and Jet wanted to make sure that he is still on Oko mode going into this Argus fight.
Well, you know, he's been playing like that the entirety game. Okay, like you gotta give him some comfort. Okay, we're no longer on Oko mode. Okay, and I don't think actually Gold Sword really matters all that much different here.
No.
According to Tempered, yeah. It's not like I think Relkin had any easier time. This is, can you really do much else besides just like hook and slash?
Not really, especially when you don't have boots. You can't go for like the 0 cycle.
Yeah, that's kind of what I figured. But I figured I would ask, you know, someone else who probably knows much better than me. Alright, though. Yeah, so Relkin's gonna start his well, he started his climb in this case. Nice fight, though. You know, on Jet and Relkin's side, I think they had a nice...
Yeah,
well,
only took 2 silver arrows.
No, okay, you know, it's fine. You know, sometimes, you know, in computer science, you start counting a 0. So really, you know, my count is still accurate, I'm just saying.
It's interesting that Megawatt Jet are also going for the half magic. I mean, you know, I think at this point, I'm pretty sure Jet and Megawatt are well aware of their position and are basically saying, hey, let's just make it as comfy as possible and leave it up to the fact that it's going to have to be Relkin that makes the mistake.
I think that's actually very fair. You know, and some people, I think, I certainly heard, like, the other side of the coin where you said, like, okay, if you are behind, like, you should be skipping safeties, you know, trying to basically cut down as much time as you can, basically, you know, increase your aggression. However, I think your side is also very reasonable, because if you're really at a point where the other side needs to make a mistake, you also cannot make a mistake. You need to survive. So if the safety is going to help you do it, then you should pick it up.
Yeah, you go with what you feel comfortable with, and you know, you basically are like, all right, as this is what I'm comfortable with, let's make sure I can get that. And then, you know, again, no, Megawatt and Jet, I'm sure, are well aware of the position they're in and know that it's not really on them at this point to, you know, it's not, they're not the ones that are in control of their own fate.
Exactly. Yeah. We're just getting bullied left and right on Jet's side. I'm
yeah,
really
Jet's
sorry.
definitely had some unfortunate moments, but again, I think it still also plays to kind of what you said earlier about, you know, having the comfort of more hearts just to give you the confidence of saying, hey, I'm not dying immediately. The seed.
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean that being said though, like okay, I'm sure that Roken has also had his fair share of like bad RNG. Even though this is seeded, like Dead Rock RNG, Mini Moldorm RNG, you know, like stuff like that. That is not even, or that's not equal, you know, between Roken and Jet. So sometimes, you know, even if you have kind of like unfortunate circumstances, you know, it certainly can, especially for Jet situations, everything's just amplified because you're on, you know, again, Oko mode, right?
Yeah, definitely.
All right, but you know that being said, so Relkin's actually looking pretty healthy. He's got half magic. He's got a fairy in a bottle as well. Because I'm pretty sure he picked that up in Crystal Roller, and he just has basically 3 more bosses to go fight. He has Moldrum 2. He almost got completely destroyed by Moldrum 1 because Moldrum 1 was a very big jerk. But it took his revenge on his brother cousin from another, I don't know, something tower world. All right, good use of the cape here, especially.
I mean, it's good use of the cape until you don't hit the switch.
Yeah, I was like,
And then it's a bad use of the cape.
Man. Okay, all right, everything's fine. This is, by the way, the cape is significantly better than Berna. I mean, so Berna is an invincibility item. We are still on the tournament branch, so all the extra sparkles are still going to cause extra lag. Oh, that was a really nice big magic pickup on Jet's side. The cape at least won't introduce anything new. I've seen numerous runners use Berna on that first room, and I'm sure every single time it just meant major regrets.
Probably, yeah. Nice. I think that was a 3 cycle.
Yeah, it looked pretty good. Yeah, you also see Jet in this case having to take things a little bit more cautiously, just because we are on still 1-hit KO mode.
That was actually pretty good maneuvering around the spikes.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, looks like we're not gonna take the safety door, which is all fine, you know, as well. It's gonna basically get through. Maybe we'll get some nice drops. I have not been paying attention to the price packs. Looks like we are small variety. I don't think there are hearts here.
Small variety will provide 1 heart, but that's
okay. Oh, that's it. Perfect. Thank you, Wallkick. Oh, you know exactly what you're talking about.
Had you asked where it was, I wouldn't have been able to tell you.
All right. Well, here we are. Jet's going through the gauntlet. Meanwhile, the Roken, you know, he's definitely playing this as cautiously as, you know, as he can. We've got Temper Sword. He is slashing away, basically using up all of his magic. He just needs enough, basically, to. Everything's fine. We got a fairy too. Yeah. He just needs enough to make sure that we light torches. I don't even think he cares about torch glitch, and he has a lamp, so we're fine.
I mean, I don't think he has a blue potion, so he probably cares a little bit about torch glitch.
Okay, that's fair.
We might see him go after the torch
with the lamp, right?
Just to be safe.
Mm-hmm. I guess so. Jet didn't want any more encouragement from the heart beeps. Well, that is it. That was a lot of lamp usage.
that was a lot of lamp usage for sure. But it won't matter because this will be Silver Arrow number 4. Get GGs in chat. To Infinity Pgog, gonna take the series 2-0. We'll be moving on to the next round.
Yeah, big GGs, yeah, for advancement. You know, we have, and the next round of brackets for 2 Infinity and Pgog. And so this is, at least for the game 2, won by Relkin, piloted by Will, slept on by Humbug.
I'm sure he's well asleep right now.
Yeah, Humbug is, it's like 3 a.m. or there, something, 3 a.m. I don't know, it's something ridiculously early, so. But yeah, big GGs to Relkin and Will, and of course, Humbug, taking the series 2-0. And Jet's almost there. But yeah, I mean, like, boostless seeds, I think actually can be, you know, quite difficult. And, you know, in terms of execution, in terms of routing, just because all the mistakes that you have, all the inefficiencies are just highlighted so much. Jet certainly had, you know, and probably in this case coupled with the fact that Jet was constantly on the verge of death, basically. Maybe made things a bit more awkward. But, I mean, overall, though.
I mean, it wasn't the boostless seed. Like, you know, obviously the boots allow you to give dash lines, but, like, I would argue that a boot seed would almost not be ideal sometimes. And like, yes, obviously you want boots, but like, that's not the reason for the difference here. The reason for the difference here is a combination of the low health and just some not great play on the Drifter side. But we're joined by Relkin and Will. Hello, GGs.
Yo, guys, GG's.
GG's.
Yo, GG's.
Yeah, sorry, and just real quick, it looks like we do actually have a forfeit on Jet and Megawatt side, so get your GG's out in chat for Jet and Megawatt, and of course, wall kicks. This looks like the end of the tournament road for, at least for League
Oh
Playoffs
darn! I
Season
get
6.
to take a break from Rando. Shoot, shoot, man.
Oh, maybe you can go find some boots and make yourself, go a little faster.
Just go
Okay, so-
watch some highlights of Brady Kachuk screwing up over and over again.
I don't care. But yeah, no, GG's to you guys. So, I commented it. It definitely seemed like you guys had maybe a little bit of a better early route to Dark World. But then I'll admit I was not the fan of your guys' route going directly to Dark World, walking all the way to Hype Cave, walking all the way to Pod, when you could have very easily gotten the hammer and I think made that trip a little shorter. Kind of talk us through kind of that portion of the routing, because it definitely felt like you guys had a little bit of a choppy route in the mid game.
Yeah, that was definitely where the route had the most improvement. I think probably from about the 10 to maybe like 20-minute mark, somewhere in there. For us, the first issue was like a small one, but it cost us some time just not getting the glove before we went to Eastern the first time, which was entirely on me. And then in my head, for whatever reason, I had it that we could find the mirror somehow and get, like, I don't know why I hadn't put it all together, but my head was trying to do the entire mountain in one trip, which is why I had put off the hammer, thinking that we could go up there and get the fire rod with it at the same time, when in actuality, of course, you had to go up there, basically do a trip for Dark World stuff, and then a trip just for the to go the long way around for the fire rod. So yeah, that definitely could have been better. The hammer would have saved us some time in Pod and on the trip to Pod, but yeah, that was stuff that got lost in the fog of trying to figure out, especially with both Fire Rod and Bombos being behind that book in Pod. I kind of fixated on that a little bit, and then some other parts of the route probably suffered a little bit as a result.
Fair. Real quick, we're also joined by Megawatt and Jet. GG's to you guys.
Hello, GG's.
GG's, guys.
Yo, GG's, guys.
Yeah, we'll
All right, Wally, who are you kicking off the team?
Who am I kicking off the team?
Yeah.
Okay, well, real quick, let's pivot to your guys' route. Your guys' route was probably slightly a little bit less efficient at the early game than it was between Relkin and Will, but I definitely felt like your guys' route was beginning to come together a little bit better post Dark World access. But then there were still just some other things that kind of didn't work out, and the low health I think also culminated the issue a little bit.
Yeah, I meant to have us go grab the glove before we went to Eastern Palace, just because being able to clear that into Sahasat would be better, but it just slipped my mind, and I ended up sending them there too early.
That happened to me too. High five.
And I think it was also doing the castle twice to get your sword bow, as opposed to trying to do all that in one go. But again, stuff like that, especially early on, you're more focused on trying to get your pilot, or you're getting the runner to do something, while as the pilot you're also trying to figure out where you need to go
exactly, yeah,
ASAP. So that wasn't a big issue. Just as the seed went on, I think we saw the difference between a runner who is comfortable with having 6-7 hearts as Relkin versus Jet. You only had 3 hearts, so you were playing a lot more cautious, and playing cautiously always leads to more mistakes than if you're just playing normal.
Yeah, I tilted somewhere in the early game, in the middle game. I was not doing well. It felt like this seed was very difficult in the beginning, because Megawatt was trying to figure out what our route should be. There was just it was so hard to actually try to find a good, efficient route in the beginning. So he did what he could. Just there were no easy safeties.
Yeah, we got the 2 hearts out of Blind's Hut on the first trip into CAC when we activated the flute, and then we didn't get another one until we got to Meyer area, basically, which was a lot later for us. So Yeah, we
Yeah.
ran into the same thing as far as the safeties and the health. It just helped that we got those 2 hearts early, and it felt, I think, a lot comfier for Relkin than it looked like it was for Jet.
Yeah, and I also definitely think that boy, I lost my train of thought. Wow, I completely lost what I was going to say. Ignore me.
I don't know, but I agree with it. I agree with it 100%, Wally.
Yeah, most of the time, like 3 heart, I do not practice Oko. And from what I've noticed, I take more hits when I have less health than if I had full health with like 14 hearts. Then all of a sudden, I can go through the game without taking a single hit. The moment you only have like 2 hearts left, suddenly every enemy is just out and will hit you. I don't understand.
I mean, it's just a matter of playing cautious. Like, you want to try, in your head, you're like, oh, I'm going to play safer, but then you're not doing your normal strats because, your normal strats, you're much more equipped, you're far more comfortable. So I think that plays a part of it. I think the lack of boots, the seed, would have also played a part of it because instead of just dashing through 90% of your enemies, you're not walking through them, which doesn't work.
Yeah.
So I think that was part of it. But no, like, again, this was definitely a tough test. I think for
Hey,
both
we got
pilots and runners.
butter, we got silvers. What more could you want?
I mean,
Boots. I want boots.
Not everyone got all of those things.
So I imagine when you open the spoiler log, after the first 45 seconds or so, you recognize, oh, boots are in GT Big Chest. You're not getting boots in the seed.
Yeah. No, it's pretty obvious immediately. That's the first thing that I Control F for when I open the log, and then the next thing I look for is the flute, and it's like, okay, well, at least you get that one.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, as a pilot, I love it when the boots are in GT because it's just like one thing that I don't have to think about, and it gives me extra time on everything else that I do.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it definitely is a lot more challenging for the runners in that case.
And you definitely got a nice early start because you guys started Link's house, so you immediately opened the flute.
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice. I was actually talking to Megawatt about that start. He's like, no, well, Sank seems to be consistent. It gives you time to look at what the tree pulls, and the tree pulls were actually good this time.
Yeah,
around.
that was another good point on you guys because you guys actually farmed for the tier 2 and got bombs much more efficiently, I thought, than to Infinity and Pgog. At least for the early game, of course.
But then it's like, oh, you need to save and quit immediately in Lost Woods because your flute was in Link's house. Like, all right, well, that's where it is.
Yeah. But no, GG's to both of you. I don't think I have anything else. Clearmouse, did you want to add any questions?
No, I think you got everything covered. Thank you guys so much for playing a boostless seed. Yeah, it was probably not necessarily like the thing that everyone looked forward to, but I think all things considered, it was you guys definitely got through it pretty well.
Yeah.
So thank you guys so much.
And unfortunately for Megawatt, Jet, and myself, this is the end of our season. Wanted to say thank you guys a lot for putting this together and for being a part of the team. It was a lot of fun.
GG's, guys.
GG's.
Yeah, GG's, dudes.
And
nice to meet 2/3 of you at SGL.
Next year,
Jet.
Yep.
And for Infinity and Pgog, you guys are moving on. I don't think your opponent is set yet. I don't even know if.
I think we're actually the first matchup done.
Yeah. So
Locationeers are also done, but we're dependent. Yeah. If
so that's the other conference. Yeah.
Oh, that is the other conference. Yeah. I was gonna say if Beats from the East win, then I think we're locked in with them because it would be they'd be the 1 seed. But
yes.
Otherwise, we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah. Speaking of, Game 3 between your Mom's Favorite Random Team and Bottles on Empty going on right now on SpeedGaming 2. That one is actually close to finishing, but it looks like it's going to be a close race throughout. So, there's going to be rando all the way through the week, and it's going to be super exciting.
Yeah. Thank you guys. Thank you all so much. I want to say thank you again to our birthday tracker, Link Force. Again, thank you so much for staying up so late.
Happy birthday to Link Force.
Yes, everyone say happy birthday to Link Force. We also met her at SGL. Yeah, so she's done always an amazing job with always being able to track. I mean, what would we do without her? Honestly, nothing. We would just panic and be sad. Wall Cakes, thank you so much for commentating this with me.
Clear Mouse, thank you. I definitely came in here not feeling good, but I've felt a lot better since doing commentary.
I'm really glad to hear that. Hopefully we're gonna get SGL next year. Hopefully we're gonna be able to do some live commentary. That would be super fun.
Heck yes.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. And as you mentioned, at least for tonight's rando, SpeedGaming 2, let's all hop over there. Between Bottles MT and your monster rando team, Maniacal and Barnage versus Shireen and Fear, basically on right now. And then for tomorrow, there is one invitational league at 11 p.m. Between Case and Flipio. I think that's another pilot spoiler, and I think that is also. Oh, that's game 2. Yeah. Okay. So.
And to just put a quick preview on the game going on SpeedGaming 2, one runner from each team is in GT, one runner from each team is on their way to GT.
Oh wow, sounds super close. Okay.
so it's
right,
close.
We definitely should go over there and to watch. All right, so everyone, have a great rest of your night here, and then we'll see you all there in SG2. Until then, see you later.